Rough Cuts. Tonight we'll have the latest movie news, discuss the new Ron Howard film Rush, and we'll talk about some of our favorite sports movies. On your mark, get set, go. You're watching Rough Cuts. Welcome back. I'm Dara Whitman, and here with me today is Chris and Aaron. How you guys doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good.
All right, let's get to some news. Well, it looks like the Scarlet Witch has been cast, at least according to Samuel L. Jackson. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Jackson reported that Elizabeth Olsen has been cast as the Scarlet Witch in the Avengers 2: The Age of Ultron. This news, however, has not been confirmed by Disney. The Avengers is set to be released in summer 2015. Are we excited about this casting?
Disney.
They own Marvel.
I'm very excited about this, but I think most people don't really know who the Scarlet Witch is, so we should just explain that just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to figure this all out. Okay, first of all, the Age of Ultron, pretty much. I'm interested trying to figure this out because it was Tony Stark and Ant-Man. There's the thing, they didn't have Ant-Man in Avengers 1, so I'm not sure how they're going to do the Ultron story.
They're actually making an Ant-Man movie.
Oh, okay then.
Something like that.
And the second thing is that the Scarlet Witch is actually Magneto's daughter.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Cause I thought she was I know that her brother
Quicksilver
is an X-Man, and he's gonna be in the X-Men movie, and he's also gonna be in the Avengers movie with different actors. So that's why I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But I will
maybe I don't know, because Ultron is pretty much the strongest, Avengers supervillain there is. So maybe they need to add a couple of X-Men in there to pretty much, fight Ultron.
I kind of wish they were all controlled by one company, and we can just this can all make sense.
Yeah.
Plus, if they're doing companies, maybe it's cross-commercializing for their companies.
Yeah, but is everybody okay with Elizabeth Olsen? I've seen her in a couple of things. She's actually, compared to the Olsen twins, she's actually a really good actress. She's been in a couple more indie, darker movies ish.
Yeah, I don't mind her at all.
I think having her background, she'll do much better in this.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no complaints from me. I'm just ready for Avengers 2. I'm canceling anything I'm doing that weekend to see in that movie anyway.
You got 2 years, so it'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I already marked it down.
All right. A new trailer for The Hobbit: The Dissolution of Smaug, was released last week. This trailer features several fight scenes, an alliance between elves and dwarves, and the first lines of dialogue from the dragon Smaug, played by Benedict Cumberbatch. The film is set to be released on December 13th, 2013. Now, as really liking the first part of the Hobbit, I'm really excited for this one. This one looks a lot more action-y compared to the first one, which was a lot of walking.
I think it's like the Harry Potter, the 7th movie, part 1 and 2. Part 1, there's wandering. They're trying to get all the what are they called?
Horcruxes.
Yep, they're trying to get all the Horcruxes. It's the most boring movie. Second part, all fighting, all action, best movie. But I think this one might be the same. Yeah, and I'm very excited for Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I heard I remember hearing his voice, and it does sound even more different compared to his other voices.
Is it Smaug or Smogue?
Smaug.
I've heard Smaug and I've heard
I go
Smaug.
Smaug.
I've heard Smaug. I say Smaug. I don't know.
Oh.
Somebody will correct us later.
I don't know. But Benedict Cumberbatch has been getting very big lately.
He is. He's done a lot of stuff coming
Especially from Sherlock. I think it's mainly from Sherlock.
Yeah, and Martin Freeman plays Bilbo.
Yeah.
That's
just take the Sherlock cast and put it in.
Put him in The Hobbit. except he's the lead. And I think the other part that I really liked about it was Bilbo. There's a part in the trailer where he tells Gandalf, "I found something in the caves," and you see the ring, and Gandalf says, "What'd you find?" And he's just "My courage." So I'm you didn't even tell him about the ring. This is not gonna. I would say it's not gonna end well, but I've seen Lord of the Rings, so it's obviously not gonna end well.
Yeah.
So is everybody looking forward to this? It's probably gonna be one of the biggest movies of the year.
I think I'm gonna be there actually for the midnight show. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
If I could be, I would.
I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fan, so probably count me out. Sorry.
Then we had this problem last year.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a Star Wars guy.
I don't mind Star Wars, but I love.
You can like both.
You can like both.
Yeah,
You really can. They're even different
It has nothing
genres.
to do with that. It's just Lord of the Rings doesn't catch my interest. Sorry.
I definitely think it's definitely more Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, not Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
I mean,
Star-
we can discuss
but-
the discussion.
I'm
That's
really
a different
not a fan of Harry
discussion.
Potter either, really.
All right,
Yeah.
we can discuss it later. Well, it seems like every classic movie is getting a modern-day sequel. The latest is Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. The big news this week is that Harrison Ford is in talks to reprise his role of Rick Deckard. If he does reprise this role, do you think the movie will be good? Anybody?
Well, anything that Harrison Ford does, for the most part, is good.
He's, in my opinion, like he's good. That doesn't mean his roles are.
Isn't he like 4,000 years old?
No, he's in the new Ender's Game movie. He's like, I don't know how old he is. But
You can do anything with makeup and cinematography.
yeah, I mean, my thing is just like they're like instead of like remaking a movie, they're just gonna add a sequel to it, which makes perfect sense. Not really like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've never seen the original Blade Runner, but it came out in like the 80s, so like they're making a sequel 20 years later.
And Harrison Ford was a lot younger back then.
Come on, Indiana Jones 4.
No, that was just too many sequels there.
No.
Too many sequels. No.
Listen, Indiana Jones way stay out his welcome. Like constantly. I mean, one time they're fighting Tomb Raiders. Next thing you know, they're fighting aliens from a different planet. Like.
Spoiler.
No.
Everybody knows.
No.
So no, we don't think like. I mean, it's directed as being like Ridley Scott directed the first one. I mean, granted, he also like when he made a prequel to Prometheus, like he made Prometheus, which is like a prequel thing to Alien. People didn't really like that.
So they're picking up where they left off like 20 years ago, or is it like later time?
I don't know. This was like. I mean, there has been a lot of news stories coming out that they just want to do it at least. So if it does, I mean, probably they're gonna have to start like 20 years later.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. And like, I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. I don't think it's going to be, in my opinion.
Yeah. And again, you're right. Because Harrison Ford's like 4,000 years old.
He's not that old.
He's not that old.
I think he's like.
There's so many more like older actors, like Ian McKellen, and he's still going strong.
They're like. I think they're both in their 60s.
And Robert De Niro.
Oh.
Sylvester Stallone. Well, pretty much the entire cast of The Expendables.
Pretty much. All right. So that's our opinion. When we come back, we'll talk about some of our favorite sports movies. Stay tuned.
Bead and Pottery Works in downtown Lancaster is your creativity destination. Something new awaits you with every visit. Sit down and let your imagination decorate your own piece of pottery. Visitors can select from over 250 plus combinations of pottery and paints. If you're looking for a quick gift, string your own necklace for that personal flair or design a bracelet or a pair of earrings at the beading studio. The Beadworks and Pottery Works in Lancaster. Creativity for everyone, activities for all ages.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And Shelter Pets makes super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a Shelter Pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money.
Welcome back. For as long as there's been movies, there's been sports movies. Whether it's been baseball, basketball, football, you named it. There's more or less about 5 to 10 movies about those sports. So what are our favorites? You were talking about your favorite just
Remember
now.
the Titans, greatest sports movie ever made. Period. Point blank. End of discussion.
I've never seen it though. So
You've never seen it? Dude, it comes on like ABC Family like every
I
other
don't-
2 days.
ABC found. Okay, we'll go on there. I'll go on the rant later. So like basically, okay, just like give like a little synopsis of like what's
All
it
right,
about.
so pretty much here's the thing. Denzel Washington's pretty much the new the time was pretty much set up, during the times like down the South, like during segregation times. Denzel Washington is the new coach for the football team. He's African American, and they pretty much gave him like this ultimatum. He needs to pretty much win every game because if he loses, he's on a short lease and he gets fired. And not to mention, he has to pretty much, get his team all together because, he's dealing with times of segregation. Half the team is African American, half the team is white. They don't like each other, obviously, because of racial differences. So he pretty much, devised other methods along with his head coaches to probably get them all together.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the entire movie. It's pretty much, the bond of like, one team of pretty much coming together and for one common goal, and that's pretty much to win a football game. That's why, to me, sports is pretty much like the ultimate entity of bringing people together. It's because even throughout, different trials and hardships throughout your life, sports can pretty much bring you all together. Whether it be like 9/11 or like the Boston bombings, those were pretty much very tragic events. But, with sports and pretty much the lead way through sports and the media, it pretty much helps you guide through it.
Wow, that makes me feel bad about not seeing the movie now.
That is very true. Like any sports games, mostly, for the most part, football. If you go to football games, it is the most. It's like the best way to bring people together, to
Yeah, I
have
agree.
spirit. When schools go to like states or championships, you can see so much pep for your school, and it brings so many people together.
Not to mention, like, also the national anthem, the Air Force is flying over the air.
Yep.
It's very,
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's why, like, because I'm not a big, like, sports person, but, like, I realized, like, a little while ago, like, I do love, like, going to, like, baseball games, and I realized, like, how much I love sports movies, because, like, they do make you feel good about, like, how, like, they make you feel good about, like, yourself and, like, your society and stuff like that.
You don't even necessarily need to know anything about the sport.
No,
I
not at all.
don't know much about sports. Like I'm not even gonna like try to say that.
Don't.
But like it's just nice to like have the atmosphere with you.
Yeah. So, and there's also like other movies. I mean, Remember the Titans is pretty much like, bar none, my favorite sports movie. I think nothing will be able to top that. Then I got like other movies like, Coach Carter and like Hoosiers, also like Friday Night Lights. Longest Yard with Adam Sandler has to be the funniest sports movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It has my two favorite comedians. One of my two favorite comedians, Adam Sandler and Chris Rock, in it. So.
I've actually just looked up on IMDb. Cars, according to IMDb, is a sports movie.
It is not a sports
I
movie.
mean, there's racing.
It's
in
racing.
It.
It's racing. Racing is a sport.
There's no humans in it.
That's true.
You don't need to have humans. It's a sport.
Who drives the
Racing is a
cars?
sport. It is the car.
Magic.
No, in sports you need humans.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Who says?
Guys. Anyway,
That's the problem with Disney.
Where's that rule though?
I think my
Okay, name me one sport that does not have humans.
Horse racing.
There's-
Dog racing.
It has jockeys and masters.
Horse racing. Dog racing.
No.
Dog racing. Dog racing. Dog racing does not have any humans.
Yeah.
You just release a dog out of a gate.
Yeah, but they still have owners and masters.
But they're
So?
not really doing anything. But anyway.
They trained them, but okay.
Anyway, I'd say my
can train a
favorite,
car.
or
You can train a car.
anyway,
You can't train a car. What the?
anyway, I think probably my favorite, or at least the one I've seen the most in my entire life, is A League of Their Own, which is like a sort of fictionalized version of like how women got into baseball because of like the men were away at the war, and people still wanted baseball, so they got the women in.
Female sports.
But it's still like really good. Like it's like the acting's really great. You got like Gina Davis. You got Tom Hanks, who's like playing a drunkard, and he's like really awesome in his role. You got Madonna, who's actually really good in it, in my opinion.
And before
Madonna
she
is
went crazy.
amazing. Like you can't deny
Yes.
Madonna.
That was before she went crazy, right?
I think. I don't know. When did she go crazy?
I don't know, mid 2000s.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was before
She's
that.
been crazy, renewing herself. She just
But
renewed
like it's
herself
really
after
good
that.
because it's like, I mean, the main thing is like basically like these two sisters, like one of them who's like not really into the sport but is really good at it, and the other one who's also, she's a really good pitcher but like she's kind of not the best, and it's like them like going through the first season and like trying to like the little sister trying to get out of the other sister's shadow, and the sister really doesn't want to do the sport in general, and like I like that movie. I think it's just part of my childhood. Like I love that movie.
Yeah, speaking of childs, I think another one. Well, you were talking about like females also being in a sports movie. Like one of my favorites growing up was Little Giants.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like, you have, two brothers, they have like a group of kids who couldn't make this, his older brother's football team, so he pretty much, tries to coach them and play against them. Not to mention, a girl, who's pretty much better than most of the guys, they went along because, she's a girl, she can't play.
Yeah. One that came out recently, which I saw and I kind of want to talk about it, was 42, which was the Jackie Robinson one. And Jackie Robinson, for a lot of people, like even the people who don't like sports, like they still see him as like a hero. And that was actually, like, that made me feel like, really good after I was done watching it. Like, yay! Which had Harrison Ford in it, too.
Again, Harrison Ford, timeless.
Yeah. But that movie, like, it kind of made me, like, that was the movie that kind of made me realize, like, wow, sports movies are actually really good because, like, they just make you feel so good about, like, yourself.
Yeah, it
and-
brings you together.
Yeah.
And you can relate to them so well.
Yeah.
Like you can't like relate to Star Wars. You can't relate to a lot
I mean, you
of other
can,
movies.
just, like, not, like, in
You
the
can relate to Star Wars.
I think you
Lightsabers
can.
are the best.
I
so.
think you can, just, like, but, like, sports movies are a little bit easier to relate to because, like, it's just so.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, the other subplots and also sports movies are also somewhat relatable. Remember the Titans was pretty much, fighting, like, segregation and racial, racial situations. Jackie Robinson, same thing. He was pretty much, the man that pretty much integrated baseball, and he pretty much had to fight, like, all these different racial stereotypes, learning how not to fight back.
I remember it was interesting because, like, I remember reading about, there was a Jackie Robinson movie that came out in the 50s, and it stars Jackie Robinson, which I find interesting because I'm kind of curious if he was actually a good actor. So I guess that's something that, like, I always find that interesting, like, when, like, the person is actually in their own movie.
Can we please agree though that The Sandlot is one of the top movies? Sandlot, that's like one of my top movies from my childhood.
I'll give you that. Also Karate Kid.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like the,
Wait,
yeah, the remake
wait,
was amazing.
First one or the second one?
First one.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the first one or like the remake, although I don't.
Well, yeah, the remake. Sorry.
Okay, look, we're not going to talk about the one with Jaden Smith in it because Jackie Chan was the only reason why I actually got.
I
through
never
it.
saw it, so.
Yeah, good. You're not missing out on anything.
No, you're
Okay.
not.
Nah.
That's good to know, but it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so we agree. Sports movies are awesome.
Yeah.
Especially remember the Titans.
Especially remember the Titans. When we come back, we'll discuss Ron Howard's Formula One racing movie, Rush. Stay tuned.
91.7 FM WIXQ, Millersville's #1 music source. The university's student-run radio station. Tune in daily to hear a variety of music beyond the top 40s. Want to be a DJ? All majors are welcome. Email operationsmanager@wixq.com for more information. Visit us online at wixq.com. 91.7 FM, WIXQ, your #1 music source.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
So Blake, you want to do the news at 6 o'clock now?
No. 6 o'clock is dinner time.
You could just eat at 5:30.
No. 6 o'clock is dinner time.
Hey, Rory.
Yep.
What time is dinner time?
6 o'clock.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Hey, you got that script for me? Okay.
Givatti's is the best place to get lunch at the Ville. They serve breakfast all day for you late risers. Bring friends and play a board game or use our free wireless internet. Grab a coffee and listen to live music on Fridays. Stevadis. One good cup deserves another.
Welcome back. With the time we have left, let's talk about Rush, the new Formula One racing movie directed by Ron Howard, about the rivalry between James Hunt, played by Chris Hemsworth, and Niki Lauda, played by Daniel Bruhl. Here's a clip.
4.
There's a lie
Isn't that what
that all
that's-
drivers tell themselves. Death is something that happens to other people. And that's how you find the courage to get in the car in the first place. But more powerful than fear itself is the will to win.
James can be a loose cannon, but there is no better driver in the world.
Niki Lauda.
He's consistent, dependable, a grown-up. Will he put his life on the line the day that it really matters?
The closer you are to death, the more alive you feel. It's a wonderful way to live.
Rush, a Ron Howard film, rated R. In select theaters September 20th, everywhere September 27th.
All right, that was a good clip, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
All right.
Yeah.
This might be like overselling it a little bit, but I think this is my favorite movie of the year. I love this movie.
Wow, that really says a lot about 2013 then.
Was 2013 really that good?
No, not
I mean,
really.
we still got a while, but like I don't know, just like I mean, I found it interesting, like the rival, like their whole rivalry, like it was great acting all around. The cinematography was like amazing, and like I like the fact that it was like a hard R because like they pretty much like they threw in like all the cursing, all of everything, and then like they even threw in like all the crashes because they were pretty brutal.
Yeah, I just saw it today. It was really good. It was okay. I'm not gonna just just sit on and hate it. I just really just didn't like James Hunt at all. I just thought he was just a total tool.
Yeah, I mean, I see that, and I'm not, and like I believe it because like, but I kind of felt like both of them were like they were like kind of like James Hunt is kind of unlikable, but I thought he was like he was likable because he was like something about him was like really charming to me.
Because he's the prototypical pretty boy racer. I mean, listen, the long hair, the physique, the not so. He just has that charm. I mean, obviously people are gonna favor him over Niki, because Niki's that's why I like Niki more. Like he's more serious. He's more into, more importantly, the craft and perfection of racing. I mean, he's just in it for just the flame and the glory.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that, but I kind of thought both of them are kind of like jerkwads. We'll go with that. But like with James Hunt, it was more obvious that he was like that. Like I found like Niki, while I did really, really, really like him, and I liked the way how smart he was, he also seemed very, very cold to me. Like he wasn't that very emotion. Like he didn't have a lot of like emotion.
I mean, when you look at his upbringing, I mean, can you really blame him? I mean, he wanted to be a race.
No.
I mean, look at it. I mean, he wanted to be, a professional race car driver. His father was like, "No, you're gonna be a businessman. Otherwise, I'm gonna cut you off." He was like, "Fine, cut me off." He bet on himself and he got successful. I mean, he founded a guy who only took a chance on him. He pretty much made his own engine in his own car, and he pretty much found success in that.
Yeah.
And obviously, like you can honestly, the natural progression in him, he actually, pretty much matured. Whereas, James Hunt, he really didn't do it. He was a butt muffin at the beginning. He was a butt muffin at the end.
I'm not like I agree. I do agree with you 100%. I kind of with Niki, I just like a lot of times you have to admit he was kind of mean, like to some people, like calling them like idiots and stuff, like.
I mean, yeah, but then again, he's smart. I mean, he's smart. I mean,
He's
smarter than the
smart.
majority of the people he worked with. I mean, everybody pretty much asks him like, "How did you do this? How did you do that?" I mean, obviously like when you pretty much the ringleader of the circus, when you control everything, obviously you're going to carry some sort of arrogance. Meanwhile, Hunt, on the other hand, the only thing he pretty much had going for him is just driving a race car fast and just have the physique and the hair. I mean, he really didn't contribute nothing outside of just driving the car. I mean, that's why Niki, to me, is more successful, because not only he drove the car, but he also, manufactured his own engine, his own crew. He got his own sponsorships. Even within the sponsorships, he helped Ferrari even get better. And not to mention, even when that car accident happened, I mean,
that was brutal.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah, when I watched, when I watched him, and more importantly, we saw Hunt leave. I was like, and he pretty much saw. I saw like the wheels, pretty much like he was like, he's gonna get hurt. And even when he was in the hospital, I mean, you just saw the determination. I mean, he got the stuff sucked out of his lungs.
That was pretty like kind of brutal.
That kind of made me uncomfortable. But then like when he came back, I mean, he was still. I mean, it pretty much just showed in the testament about how much he really cares about the sport of racing.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, like after Japan, like then he realized like there's more to life than just racing. I mean, I have a wife now. I'm eventually gonna have a family. I need to think about them rather than just myself.
I mean, I did read about it. Like he still did race. Like that wasn't like his end of the racing. He did race. I think he won like, because I think like in the movie it says like he won a national championship. I think he won 2 more after that, and then he retired.
Yeah, but then again, it's like racing under those conditions, especially just after you, like, what week, like 2 months after you just got out of the hospital, you're not gonna. I mean, you could risk getting hurt again, especially in those conditions in Japan. You know, with like it being wet, those roads are curvy, and especially with those wheels, pretty much bound to explode.
I think you can't really. I think like one thing that like you can't really do. I think the acting like between like both the Chris Hemsworth and
Thor.
Whatever.
It's Thor. I honestly think that Chris Hemsworth is sort of riding off his like Thor movies.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think this proved though, because like obviously I think he did a great job in Thor.
I mean, yeah.
But like I think this kind of proves that like wow, he's a great actor.
But he's still Thor.
Yes, he is. Okay, he's still Thor. I think like one thing I'll talk about, like I really like the cinematography because like sometimes like they took you like behind the car thing and like you could actually feel the race thing because like after a while I think like why would you want to like race like this if like there's a chance that you're gonna die and like you see the like it's pretty like grueling like some parts where like there's like the one guy like he like breaks his leg and like you can see the bone. It is like disgusting.
The cinematography definitely does show you like more truth about it. Most definitely compared to like other movies where they're trying to block that sort of stuff out of it. They definitely like show you truths and like the gore and definitely the danger about this sport.
I agree.
More importantly, I love the actuality of like the burns that Nikki actually got.
Yeah, that was great makeup.
Yeah, and the thing is that like when they did the flashbacks of the actual James Hunt and Nikki, it pretty much just showed like pretty much the same thing, the actuality and like the real life accuracy of like the makeup.
Yeah. I think it's like interesting because like if you like think about like James Hunt, like he actually lived that life of. I'm talking about the person, not the character.
He's still Thor.
Like if you talk about the actual person, like he like basically did like drugs and like sex and like that whole thing, and then you find out like he died in like 1993, and it's and I remember like there's a part where like Nikki's like I wasn't shocked, I was just sad. I kind of like that also, like at the end they don't have like title cards saying what happened, it was just like a voiceover. I'm like, that's interesting, I've actually never seen that before.
I mean, but to be quite honest, I like Nikki a lot more than James did. I couldn't relate, more so because I can probably relate to Nikki a lot more than James. I mean, James pretty much just seemed like pretty much the slacker type. I mean, he just got married just because he thought it was good for his image.
And because it was Olivia Wilde.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like...
Don't deny it, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, so it looked like he just got married just for the sake of getting married, thought it'd be good for his image. But then, like, that's realized, like, it didn't change him as a person. I mean, whereas, Nikki, I mean, like, as you can see, like, he was pretty much like at first he was pretty much like a loner. Then, like, he met his wife, and then, like, as it goes on, even after the Grand Prix, he went you can really tell he's a private person because he got married in the courthouse.
Yeah.
And he pretty much said, like, what, I might, miss your birthdays, I might do this, but if I want to spend if I want to spend the rest of my life with someone, it would be with you.
That was I thought that was like, it seemed like, that seemed kind of cold, but also seemed really, really sweet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. Join us next time for some more movie discussion. Take care.